Hi, this is Scott and Vicki Werner, and we are mentors, and we've been teaching people tools to use in their lives to improve their lives for 6 years now. And so I'd like to thank you for coming and showing up for this video. We're making an offer on our fall training, 2022 fall training, Healing Emotional Trauma. And it's 12 weeks of instruction. We're going to start on September 6th and go through November 22nd. So we'll be done before Thanksgiving, and it'll be each Tuesday night, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Now we are going to videotape all of them and put them on a place where you can rewatch them as much as you want. And this is going to take some effort on our part, but we will have them available for you. And so we want you to be aware of that.
Okay, so why are we here on this planet? Why are we going through these experiences that we're going through? We want to dial in on a couple of things just to give us a baseline of where we're at and where we intend to go with this. So just understanding that emotions are an endpoint to an experience. All experiences that we have some kind of emotional reaction to that creates a flood of chemicals that our brain and body are constantly in communication. And we like to just have that baseline of understanding that every experience that we have is going to have some kind of an emotional attachment to that. Now, emotions are energy in motion. And we, as human beings in the physical experience, came to master energy. That's why we're in the human body. That's why we have duality. That's why we have these reactions and these experiences of challenges and struggles, but also of great joy and love and blessings, so that we have opportunity to master energy. And we measure our life by our emotional state regarding these experiences that we go through. We can look back and reflect on our life and decide and make a determination or a belief that our life is made up of struggle and heartache or made up of joy and opportunity. And it's our emotional state that helps us decide those things and the beliefs that we have. And our emotions can either stifle us and limit us or expand our possibilities based upon the emotions that we have and our beliefs around those emotions. And we read the emotions of others and gauge our communication through our emotional filter, which is usually our stories that we make up around ourselves regarding our emotional state. Now, unresolved emotions are a key player in how we progress in life. 90% of all physical pain is due to unresolved emotions in the body. That's big. How many of us can attribute that we have, a stiff neck or lower back pain or knee pain, headaches or nausea, and we don't have an outside experience that we correlate with that, such as a trauma, a blunt trauma or some kind of chemical reaction. It's usually an emotional state that is unresolved and locked into our physical body. And we're going to go into much more depth about that in this training series that we're doing. Unresolved emotions are the #1 contributor to depression, eating disorders, anxiety, phobias, panic attacks, addiction, and PTSD. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, every one of us can recognize that we may have some level, some degree, at least one of those, if not all of those experiences in our own personal experience and or in our family experience. And unresolved emotions are a key player to all diseases and physical and mental ailments. Now, emotions and the impact in your life and in our lives is that we have to take into consideration a few things. #1, are we easily triggered by outside events? Do we measure our experiences and our emotional state based upon those experiences, such as somebody not going through the red light, going through a red light when we're driving, or somebody rude to us at the checkout counter, or a partner comes home and starts barking orders, and that affects our emotional state? Are we easily triggered by that? Do we wish you could make changes in your life but don't really know how? You recognize that you don't like the way you feel, and you recognize that you want things to be different, but not necessarily know how to progress out of the state that you're in. And do you ruminate over past experiences that can't seem to let go? That's kind of a key word around that, is we don't know how to let go of it. It just keeps popping into our head and we have no control of when those come in. That brain state and those emotions continue to become an addiction in our body. We start craving that emotional state, even if it's uncomfortable. Our bodies still recognize that as familiar and safe, even though it's unhealthy and doesn't feel very good to us. And do you feel stuck in life? Those are ways that we can look at our relationships and our financial level or our health level, and we just feel stuck. We know that we see a dangling carrot in front of us, that we want something different, but not know how to move out of that because we're stuck. And you struggle with sleep disturbances or feel tired during the day, even though you got a good night's sleep, or even though you are eating well, or even though you are getting physical exercise. Do you still feel that fatigue and that heaviness burden on your body? And that often is emotions weighing us down. And this and many more things are due to our unresolved emotions.
Now, emotions cause discordant energy that actually blocks the flow of our Taurus energy. And so we've really important to get rid of those negative emotions, that unresolved conflicts, because they conflict with our energy all the time.
Okay, so we want to go into a little bit about our personal story, and in the effort to help you understand why this is so important for us and for all of us as globally, as a community, as our personal relationships. So both Scott and I, unfortunately, we experienced child sexual abuse. There was predators in our peripheral, and we both had those traumas that were a repeated experience. That can contribute, I know that's a case for many people, and it can contribute to low self-value, low self-esteem, low self-love, and feeling a need to protect yourself from others because we don't necessarily feel safe in our life. Both of us came from unstable family life. Our parents divorced when we were young. There was a lot of tumultuous energy. My father was an angry, tyrannical experience. Many times he was physically abusive. And then both of us had a lot of financial limitations where we didn't have resources. We were more in a survival state family rather than, even though there was love in our home, there wasn't necessarily a building up or an encouragement of ways that things could be different, because we came from an ancestral experience that our families, our parents and our grandparents all experienced some level of trauma or emotional limitation where they didn't know how to let it go either. And so we don't hold them accountable for that, but we recognize that that's a root of why we have some of the beliefs or our emotional limitations that we've had in the past. And many people know our story, that there was extreme trauma at the onset of our marriage. Now, we've been together now for 20 years. These 20 years have been a lot of growth and a lot of opportunity, but we've also had enormous challenges that we've had to overcome. Some of this led to health challenges. Many people know that we both had near-death experiences and years of healing, and it's been really frustrating. There's no question. We're not going to put a rose-colored lens around this, that this has been an easy process. Our bodies have broke down, our emotional states have broke down. We still recognize old triggers or tracks that we have maintained, trying to keep ourselves safe. There's been some emotional instability and some limiting beliefs, questioning whether we're safe to progress. And most of this is rooted in fear of the unknown, because when you can only handle and you're in survival mode of your life, knowing that even though it's uncomfortable, you can maintain it because you did it yesterday and the day before, but is the unknown going to bring something that is more that you can handle? And these can all limit us, but ultimately we had a desire for something more. And so what did we do about that? Number one is we took a hard look at our lives and recognized that things could be better. We knew that there was a possibility of a more joyful, free experience where we could have life experiences but not have them weigh us down. We literally traveled the world. How many? 36 countries. We went to 36 different countries training with some of the best. We sought out great teachers and mentors, people who have gone through this journey themselves, intuitives, psychics, healers, shamans. Yeah, you name it, we've experienced it, and we really wanted to sit on the front row of that experience and just dial in and look at what was true. And with kindness, now that's a key word. With kindness, we tried everything that we could to avoid judgment of ourselves and or our partner. As we navigated these personal experiences, sometimes one of us was stronger than the other, and sometimes one of us had more belief or energy or felt hope, and that could lift the other one up. And if not, then we just had compassion when that other one of us was struggling. And I'll be honest, many times that person was me. And Scott's been very good about being kind, and because when you're already feeling low, having somebody attack you emotionally or when you're feeling vulnerable certainly isn't going to help get through that experience. And so we had breakdowns many times. There was a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of how is this ever going to be different, and you get to a point where you just want something to be different and willing to do whatever it takes. That's the dark night of the soul experience that many people go through. I think everyone will go through at some point in their life, but we had this commitment over and over to be better and to do better. We were very lucky to be blessed by some great teachers that came into our life, people who saw that we could do better, people that recognized where we were and how things could be better, and we were willing to let go of what was familiar. And that's not easy, but this familiar and uncomfortable state of being, we have to surrender that we knew that there was a possibility of somewhere in the unknown that life could be better. And we did the affirmation that we wanted life to be better, and the new reality was ours before we had outside evidence that things were going to improve. And that's again another key element that we want to play out in this training, is before you have evidence of things to be better, you have to recognize that things could be better.
And just know that the teacher appears when the student is ready. And that's happened to me literally hundreds of times. And so we have to be open and ready to receive these teachings so we can make shifts in our life for the better. Now, emotional trauma starts in our body through these negative emotions. Emotion is a movement of energy, and it's powerful, and it does affect every cell in our body. But what happens when we go through trauma, it'll store in different locations in our body, different organs, different systems, different glands. They all can be affected by the storage of negative emotions, which impede. Impedance in electricity causes a lack of the flow of the electricity. Well, impedance is started in our bodies by negative emotions that impede the flow of the torus that goes around our body and up through and around, but we also have another torus that starts at the top, goes down and around. Emotions can affect both of those energies. And so as you look, we can see there are many things that cause impedance to our energy. And even our main 7 chakras within the body are affected by negative emotions and negative experiences with those emotions. And emotions don't just go away. They deeply inseed in our memory and in our brain and in our body. And that's why Jesus said, the greatest commandment is thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul. And the second is like unto it, love thy neighbor as thyself. How in the heck can we love our neighbor when we're so messed up inside with all these negative emotions? So part of loving ourselves comes from clearing these energies, these emotional blockages, and we're going to help you do that. Now, we're going to talk about 12 different issues. Why do we pick 12 weeks? 42 days is 6 weeks. We can work on one emotion and totally rid our bodies of it within 6 weeks. And then we work on another. So we can absolutely say to you, you will clear at least 2 negative emotions that's keeping you from moving forward. Now, how are we going to do this? We're going to give you methods. Now, releasing emotional baggage. When Vicki and I came into our marriage, I had a lot of emotional baggage because I had just, and she had a lot of emotional baggage. But when we came together, we had to deal with it because we came from 2 marriages where our partners weren't ideal for us. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about them because we're not supposed to judge others, but, we just weren't in alignment with our life paths. And when Vicki and I came together, we were aligned, which was good, but we had to release a lot of emotional baggage. So we're going to start out by releasing our emotional baggage and teaching you how to do this. And then the next week, we're going to talk about releasing those negative emotions, another way of releasing the emotional baggage. The next time, we're going to talk about releasing emotional blockages, because sometimes these things get so blocked, they're like a wall and we can't get over. And we'll teach you methods of how to get over those blockages, those walls, those stuck feelings. And then the following week, we're going to release fear and anxiety. Sometimes we're afraid to let our emotions even show up so that we can release them. And we're going to teach you how the fear and anxiety, which is what keeps us from progressing. Now, the next one is changing our limited beliefs into beliefs that actually allow us to make those changes. And so changing those limiting beliefs is another way we can release emotional baggage. And then October 11th, we're going to talk about shifting from negative emotions into positive emotions. So that's the first 6 weeks. And let me tell you, you're going to feel much better by the time we get to the end of that 6th week.
Because I think we're going to feel better too.
Yeah, we're going to feel better too because we're working on it as well as teaching you how to work on it.
Yeah.
Now, the next 6 weeks, we're going to go into some different teachings like meditation into the void to create new possibilities, unlimited possibilities. And that's a very important tool in your toolbox to help with keeping your emotional strength high. And then we're going to talk about prayer and emotions. These are the spiritual things that we're going to be doing. And then we're going to be creating magical emotional energy to create changes within our bodies. So all of these things are very spiritual. Magic is not spiritual. Magic is focusing our energy and creating what we truly desire. And it seems magic because all of a sudden things appear or disappear. And so we're going to teach you about that. And then changing your emotional mindset. We have to change our intent in order to change our mindset. And we'll be teaching how to do that. And then we'll be teaching about applying love into our life. Love is the most powerful energy in the universe. In fact, God used love to create the universe. And so we're going to apply that love, that creation love, to our lives and change who we are back to who we should be, which is a perfect creation of God. And then our final talk will be about invoking the divine to thrive in this world. And all of these teachings will lead us to shifting our body's energy. And, St. Germain keeps saying, we can help you to shift your life and shift your body and your health. Everything involves emotions, believe it or not. Our health, our mind, our soul, everything. And when we have stuck emotions and emotional trauma, it impedes us from progressing.
So what we're going to include in these different trainings is we're going to first dial in on key emotions that affect every one of us. We all have had levels of betrayal. We've all had anger. We've all had fear. We've all had some level of these limited survival emotions that have kept us stuck in our lives. And then we'll provide easy and doable. Those are key words. And we want to encourage that just because it's easy and doable doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. People want hard and extreme and big life makeovers. But truthfully, in order to engage in it, it needs to be doable and it needs to be easy so that it's applicable in your own life, that you can access these various tools at a moment's notice when you recognize that there's a dysregulation in the body. And then you can use these not only in your personal life, but with your family, your children, and with loved ones. Not necessarily that we go in and fix other people, but we can offer support and tools that can help navigate where somebody is at. And then each class will include not only instruction and guidelines that will support you, but also for helping you to support others. And it's going to be more of an interactive experience on this training. We're going to encourage that you contribute, that you have questions, that if there's things that you want included in these trainings, then please reach out to us because we want to offer the most support that we can. And we haven't had every single experience in this world, but we've had enough that we have some baselines so that we can help encourage and support others. There's going to be opportunity assignments that we're going to offer in each class. And this will help to integrate improvement into your life. To take information is very, there's countless levels of information, unlimited information on the internet or in various books or various media. But information doesn't do us any good unless we integrate it into our life. And so with these opportunity assignments that we're going to offer, you can start integrating these into your life and start unfolding and releasing information that you didn't even know was in your subconscious patterns or in your beliefs or held into your body. And then obviously we're going to have a Q&A opportunity towards the end of each training. And this will make it more interactive, and we can come back if there was something that you learned during an experience and want us to expand upon it or to go deeper into a deeper understanding of that. This is offered for support. And then as anybody who's done our trainings before, they know that Scott has been blessed with a beautiful gift of giving blessings. He will be giving blessings to all the participants during these trainings.
And so I want you to know we are going to go through your body and help you release these emotions wherever they're stuck. And if you have a particular thing that keeps coming up, shoot us an email during the process and we will address it for you and help you to overcome these things. And everything is about emotion. I tell you, humans, what makes us different from all the other species is humans are very emotional. But that's where our power comes from. So just know that we will be working with that to increase your power and information and love.
So what's possible for you in joining us in this experience? We hope that you will have an improved outlook on our life. We all would like to have a better outlook for how life is going, especially in these last few years. It has been really challenging. And if we recognize that globally we are being forced for transformation, what better opportunity than right now to make changes in your life? And that includes recognize emotions that need to be released so that you can increase this outlook on how life is going to progress for you. A deeper connection to the divine is something all of us crave for, or at least should have some craving for, because building that relationship with the divine is ultimately building your relationship with yourself. Greater compassion for self and others. That is something that every one of us wish that we had greater compassion given to us when we felt vulnerable or limited in our understanding or an emotional upheaval. But having this greater compassion for self and others is a gift that each one of us should cultivate and increase in our opportunities with our career, health, and relationships. That tends to be the triangle that most people, with trainings that we've done, most people will find somewhere in that category some level of limitation, either career, health, relationships. Another version of that is finances with career. And releasing of unhealthy habits and addictions. Everyone has some level of addiction. We're either addicted to our devices, we're addicted to food, some are addicted to alcohol or substance. We can be addicted to sleep, we can be addicted to exercise. There's levels of addiction, and what we need something outside of ourselves to change the way that we feel. And so releasing these unhealthy habits can help release addictions. And we can improve our intuition, because when we expand our energy field and we release these limitations that are our survival emotions and these lower chakras, it expands our field of energy, which increases our possibilities and increases our access to intuition, because we can trust ourselves better when we're not coming through this emotional filter. And we can maintain more emotional stability and harmonious state of being in our lives. Who wouldn't want more of that? And when we feel good, then the world can just be lighter and easier to engage in. And when we don't, we want to shut out the world, because we're trying to self-regulate and ultimately having better energy and vitality.
So with this emotional healing trauma, 12 weeks, normally people will charge, thousands of dollars. And, some of the best are charging tens of thousands of dollars to release emotional trauma. But we can actually start releasing trauma through our teachings. We're going to make it really doable for you by reducing this to $200 for all 12 sessions, and you have unlimited ability to go back and look at it again. And if you donate $100 more, you'll receive an intuitive reading from myself. Now, we increased that to $275, so this is actually worth every penny. So September 6th through November 22nd, we're going to do this, and you can join now. And if you join by September 1st, you get this for $200, and if you pay an extra $100, you get a $275 intuitive reading from Dr. Werner. So call 586-986-0025, 435-986-0025, or go to scottwerner.org for more information. Thank you for listening today. Join us. Remember, September 1st is coming up. 3.5 weeks from now.
And we'd love to have you with us.
So we'd love to have you with us, but you need to buy in before then. After that, it's $399.99. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
And we'll see you in September.